morning. Welcome to Technique Tuesday number 8. We're going to be making these selections of acrylic paint backgrounds using lots of different techniques and tools. Make sure everything looks okay. Yep, that all looks fine. Might come up a little bit. That's fine. Can everyone hear me okay? There we go. I can see a few people popping up now. I'll get myself sat down, then we can make a start. Just move this forward slightly. Hello, Andreen. Glad you found your paints in time. To be honest, I didn't really start using paints until a couple of years ago, so... Hello, Katie. I don't know how slow the catch-up is on this today. Sometimes the feed from Facebook can take forever. Good morning, Gail. Hello, Samantha. Hi, Christine. Yeah, we've got Brian with us today as well, as usual, just in case. So, I better mind my P's and Q's, haven't I?
Should we get the swearing out of the way now?
No, we don't do that. So, as you can see, this is the selections of cards we're going to be making. There are some things I've pre-done because today is all about concentrating on the background, but we'll still go through all the different bits and bobs of putting them together. So, and of course, if there's anything you're not sure about, just drop us a question. That's fine. Okay, so this will be the first card. That's a pretty good catch up this morning, thank goodness. This is card number 2. And card number 3. I'll pop these to one side. Okay, so I'll just run through the materials that we're going to use today, and as always I will put a PDF of the materials list and some brief instructions. Hello, Wendy. Onto the group. So stamp sets, I'm going to be using Hazel's Butterfly stamp and the dies, the Circles Medley stamp set, the Sentiment Medley stamp set, and the Circles Medley Alphabet stamp and die set as well. We've got acrylic paints in all sorts of different colours. The ones I'm using today, hi Jane, are art by Marlene. I know that Hazel stocks these now. They're really nice. There's some beautiful colours and the texture of them is gorgeous. I'm going to be using a bit of white gesso, which I love. It's basically a chalk paint, and it adds so much to a project when you do add it. I've got a small brayer, some paint brushes, and also some bubble wrap and an old bank card. I'll be using the Dragons All-Purpose card throughout, along with some card blanks and some True Black card. The first card is made with some old stash, which you'll recognise when I get it. we'll be using VersaFine Clair Nocturne and the Wow embossing pad. We'll also be using the Wow embossing powder in clear and in white. So we need a heat tool, stamp platform, ideally an A5 flat acrylic block, but not to worry if you haven't. A die cutter machine, and then the usual things: trimmer, glue, water spritzer, scissors, kitchen towel, copy paper, that kind of thing. So all the basics. Okay, so if we go to the first project, get all these bits out. So I've got some of these done already. Now you might remember this piece of stash. Exactly. I knew it would come in useful for something. Hi, Julie.
Oh.
Hi, Anne. Did I say hi, Yvonne? I'll say hi again. Okay, so I thought two really lovely colours to go with these turquoises and teals will be a yellow and a pink, which seems to go very nicely. Now this is quite a small piece because I'd got the A5 size left, but because I needed two, for one before and one for using this morning, that's quite small. But obviously your project will be whatever size of stash card you've got left. Hi Donna. Oh, fingers crossed. Okay, if you want to know how much this this size is, it's 10 by, no it's not, it's 7 by 14. So I cut that down. You'll also need a little bit extra to stamp the other bits out. So we move on. So we're going to put a small dot, just a teeny tiny bit of the paint. And the small brayer, this one is a Ranger brayer. And pick some of that up on there and just go straight over. I have to put some more down. It's up to you how much you want to put on. Add a bit more. I'm using this what I call a messy mat this morning as well, because if I start adding paints to the green mat, it's not going to come up. Yes, quite possibly. I think this one's a crafts too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just adding what I will call splodges of paint. And being acrylic paint, it will dry quite quickly, thank goodness. So let's just give this a quick mop up. They're lovely paints, Donna, they really are. And the bottles are sturdy as well, which is nice for storage, because some acrylic paints you get, they do tend to be difficult to stand up or fall over, or when you squeeze them they go a bit weird. Okay, so the next colour we're going in with is some yellow. It will come out. There we go. Oh yeah, there's always a list, isn't there, of things to buy. Okay, so come up, come in, little random strokes, I suppose you'd call this, just to lay odd patches of colour down. I think that will do. Mop this up again. It's just, I don't know, it's a bit like when we did the masterboard. It's such a lovely technique because it's always different. It's organic, I suppose. You always get something different with it. So let's bring that one up. So you're still getting elements of the background in here. But you've got the added paint, and it's distressed, but it's pretty distressed.
Yeah. I'm pretty distressed most days.
That's living with me. Okay, so all you would need to do then, I've already gone ahead and I have stamped out 2.5 of the butterflies. Bring that in, so it's the medium-sized butterfly onto the rest of the card that I had left over. As I say, I was struggling a bit with card because I needed to have 2 projects worth. And then I've added Dream from the Circles medley, and I've stamped that onto here as well. And then I have die cut them so that they can go straight onto the project. So all we need to do now is matter and layer the sentiment. Thank you, Donna. So come quite close. As I say, if you'd prefer to measure this out or use the die to do this, that's fine. I quite like the I don't know what to call it really, handmade element to cutting it out. Get rid of those little bits. A piece of black card here. I'm just going to use the glue. Little dots on here because it's such a small piece. You don't want it spurting out too much. Line that up to one edge or one corner. Give that a press. That glue will take more or less instantly. Fairly even border. The butterflies, I'll use the die to cut, because believe me, certain projects, if you're going to be cutting a lot of things out, like when I did the mobile, you really need those dies. I would never have made a mobile if I'd had to have cut them all out by hand. They would have driven me crazy. So the card blank, I've made a card blank to obviously fit in with the size of the piece of stash that I had left. So yours will be the size of whatever you've got. So this is a 10 by 34 and then scored in half. I've got my black mat to go on as well. Some glue on here. Place that in the center. You can do these exactly as you'd like. If you want it higher or lower. Yes, I love black mats as well. Since I started doing everything in black, that's all I seem to do. Okay, now we'll pop this on. The black mat was slightly bigger than this size of card, so it was 7.4 by 14.4. It just depends on how I'm feeling and how much of a frame I want to give the focal background. Sometimes I like a really fine, so I might even go go as low as a 0.3 or however it works out.
Use a pen.
Okay, so put this down. There we go. In the middle, and this is when you'll need a little bit of copy paper. I actually use old packing slips as well to do this. Old bits of letters and things that I've been trying to copy out from the printer that haven't gone quite right. Use the white side down to do this. Create a nice finish. There we go. And then we're going to place the butterflies. So start with the bottom. Put some glue on. My tweezers for this because it's just a bit easier. Pop him about there-ish. That's it. Give him a chance to stick. As you can see, the acrylic takes hardly any time to dry at all. Thank goodness. Obviously, some projects will take a bit longer to dry. We have one in about the middle, going off on an angle. Hold that down. Now all our colours are coordinated. But this is a really quick way of making a colourful background, especially if you've got bits and bobs left.
You could make batch cards like this, couldn't you?
You could, definitely. Even if you think a background has gone wrong,
yeah,
keep it. Brian.
Yeah.
Don't rip it up and throw it away. And you can go over it and turn it into something completely different. We'll pop our sentiment on. So in the middle, and I'm just going to line him up with that middle part of the butterfly. There we go. Another quick rub down. It's good. Yeah, I do, Samantha. Thank you. It's quite relaxing, isn't it? I do love doing my own backgrounds. Okay, so that's card number 1. So we've turned something that could have ended up in a pile of card for months or years into another project, which is always a good idea. You could add other bits to this. You could add glossy accents and stickles. Thank you, Yvonne. Okay, so that's that one. Now, this is where we really get to the fun part. Just pop the lid back on my glue. Thank you, Julie. So, card number 2. And this is where we will be using some bubble wrap. Now, this isn't my technique. Oh, I was going to show you. There's this card here, which is also using brayering. It's literally using exactly the same technique as the first card. Brayer on, different colours. We've got some neon ones in there as well, which I do like. Blue, pink and the yellowy colour. Then I've gone over with white gesso, which sort of knocks it back a bit, but it also blends it together, if that makes sense. And then I've used the square products from Hazel. come in with that, so that would be great for a man's card. It's practically the same technique as what we've just done, but creating from scratch. So you can go in with a brayer and create whatever you like, really. As I say, it will be different every single time. The journal I made as well was made in a very similar way to this, with Hazel's things. So put that to one side. Now we'll move on to this one. So let's get our bits out. We've got our card blank. And that's, again, I'm using the all-purpose card, and this one we're using bank card. Some more lovely ink as well as the yellow we've just used. Some sentiments and some lovely bubble wrap. I really enjoy making mail cards. I don't know why. Perhaps it's because I've always been a bit I've never been really a girly girl. But I really enjoy making men's cards for some reason. Okay, pop these to one side. Okay, so that's what we're heading towards. I might do things a little bit differently, but again, this technique is quite organic, so it will be whatever it'll be. Got some lovely paint colours there. Let's move that out of the way for now. So I'm going to be using a 6x6 card blank or 15x15. This piece of card is 12x12. So we're going to get, we'll start with the green. Put some down on the mat. Slightly bigger blob. Grab some of the bubble wrap and just scrunch it up. And literally all we're going to do, pop it into the paint and apply to the background. If you like, this is going to be our base colour. Just going to build this up. I don't think there is one. I've never really thought about it. Some cards you can tell the super smooth is definitely the same either side, and this card is the same as well. I always get a little bit confused with the watercolour card because you've got the peaks and troughs in it, which can be either way really. I think no, they're the same. The only thing I have noticed is with the true black, one side is definitely smoother than the other. But pretty much they're the same both sides, really. Okay, so move that bit out of the way. Let's have a little mop up. Oh wow. Gosh. That must have taken a while, Donna. Just get as much of that up as possible. It will need a pop-up wash when we finish, but just so we're not transferring too much. Not that it really matters because we're blending all the colours in together. You're welcome, Yvonne. I think these will even go in a dishwasher. Not that we've got one, but okay. So we're going again with the blue. I love the name of this one. It's Smurf. Pop a bit down. Love the piece of bubble wrap. Brian always laughs at me because I wash my bits of bubble wrap after to use again. Pick this up all day. Wow. That's dedication. So, coming with some suedes now, I think. Doesn't really matter. It's almost reminds me, this technique, of oil paint or impressionism. Add a little bit more. It ends up looking like you've got a degree in fine art. All you've done is get some bubble wrap out. That's it. Another mop up. Yes. See, this is why my cloths end up looking the way they do, because I'd use them to clear up everything. Put this back in again. Now we're going to go with some red. Oh, cat's just walked in. Hello, Boots.
Neighbourhood cats just popped in, folks.
They do like to nosy, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, the worst thing is if I'm splattering anything, I get splatter on everything but what I'm actually trying to get it onto. I get it up the wall, on my lights, all over the desk. Again, going with the red, get a few areas dotted in.
So, Phillipa, are you going to wash your bubble wrap after this?
Yeah, I've already said that. It washes off and it's good to go again. Might as well try and make some use of all that packaging that comes with stuff. Okay, so it's just a hint of red. A quick mop up. I mean, usually I work on a glass mat all the time, but when recording it reflects, so it's not ideal. It reflects the light all the time, which is a bit uncomfortable. But that's why I bought the green self-healing mat. But it is more difficult to get paint and stuff off of. But these mats are brilliant. Okay, now we're going to go in with some yellow. Pick out our highlights. Seem to have used yellow quite a lot. And another bit of bubble wrap. Tend to go with the bubbles on the outside. You can emboss doing this as well. Hi, Lynn. Don't worry. Coming in again. Go all over.
It's got to save money for the next Julie Hickey design collection. Oh.
You certainly have. Oh, yeah. There we go. So now we can kind of see where we're going with this. I'm going to put a bit more green in. Of course, you'll go with whatever the effects you're wanting to achieve. Building that up. Don't need to get rid of all the white space, that's fine. Kind of going for a blurry woodland type effect. That makes sense. Better. And go back in with some of the yellow. These are highlights. Keep going with it until you're happy. Choose that up. Yep, that will be fine. Move these out of the way. Knowing me, I'll do something dastardly with them before I've got to clean them. That's one side. Give this a mop up. Oops. There goes my box. That's what I get for piling it up on the floor. Give this a good clean. Yeah, just obviously you do the same thing, Donna. You splodge it into the embossing pad and put it on your card. Cover with your embossing powder and see what happens. I haven't done that for ages. That'll do. There we go. So we'll bring this back in again. Just bring this up. A bit closer look. Okay. So it's a very quick way of learning impressionism or oil painting, I think. So, yeah. Grab the yellow paint back again. And this is where we're going to use the bank card. Let's just make this a bit straighter. Nobody's on the wonk. So, a little blob of the yellow. And all we're going to do now is drag the card through. You could use an old gift card, and we're going to cross hatch. Better way. Yeah, that's fine. So, coming in from the top left. Go like that, thicker ones. And then again. Across here. So we're basically making a cross hatch in the top left corner. Picking the paint up. Doesn't have to be straight, it's just making marks on the card there. There we go. Let's get some white before it sticks. And yes, I do wash the card as well. Let's make this up. And before we move on to the next bit, I might give this a bit of a blast with the heat tool. When you're doing anything with acrylic paint, keep it on the lowest setting. But the paint, because it has got those plasticizers in it, does have a habit of bubbling.
Which I love.
Just go over here. So we're going to stamp onto this next. Give it a good waft. You can find all sorts of different things to apply paint with. Another good one is wrapping elastic bands around an acrylic block or a brayer or even a paint roller.
Or even
I'm going over. Definitely. Come in both sides, try and get the card as even as possible. We've got layers of paint on here, so these will get the first layers from the back. Ah, that sounds interesting, Virginia. I don't know anybody with a Nerf gun.
What, do you shoot out a canvas, Virginia?
Yeah, that could be a good idea. Maybe we should get those dartboards with the spongy. Stick a bit of card on it and aim. Okay, just wobble that back into.
Thank you, Virginia. You got the brain overworking now.
You do realise what you've done, don't you? Right, let's bring in the stamp platform. Pop this in. Now, having said that I die cut everything else, I will be cutting the butterfly out because I wanted it solid, if you like, without the board around it. That's no problem. This is why I'm popping it down on here. Move that in to where we've put the cross hatches up towards the top left so that it draws the eye. I'm going to use the VersaFine Claire Nocturne so that it picks up all this lovely detail in the stamp. I really do love this butterfly. I keep using it for everything. We don't have any children living next door to us anymore. That's really annoying. This is on the flat. Give that a good squish down. See how that's doing. We haven't got to be perfect because we're going over it. It's just so we've got those antennae down as well. There we go. Oh, they're gorgeous, aren't they? I love this one because it's more realistic, I guess. Some butterfly stamps aren't. There we go. And that'll wipe off, and then we're going to go in with the butterfly dictionary definition that we've got here, because that's nice and distressed looking and splotchy. Yes, having the different sizes is amazing. It helps so much. So we're going to sort of come off the page at the top there. Yes, definitely. Realistic but arty at the same time. There. This doesn't have to be legible, you don't have to see it all. This is going to be framing the butterfly. Down there. Still keeping it straight because that would annoy me otherwise. I'm just getting little hints of text coming through. And then on this side, we'll do that over that way a bit. So we've got another bit coming off here. I do like doing things off the page. It's funny how we all have different quirks, isn't it? Yes.
Are you getting over that, Julie, yet? Your ruby anniversary?
That is something to be proud of. Okay. Because we have stamped onto the acrylic paint, we are going to need to set it because it's never going to dry fully.
No, ruby, it's not.
Oh. Oh, you didn't get a ruby.
Oh,
maybe.
Do you want to buy one?
Thank you, Bev. So I've got clear gloss regular embossing powder. I'm just going to sprinkle over everything. Sprinkle that over. I don't need to use my sock yet with this because it doesn't matter. But we will on the next card. We will finally get to see the sock. Set. Julie, you'd be lucky. And again on the lowest heat. We can come in on the top here, that will be fine. This is literally just setting everything. The last thing you want is to put all the work into creating the background and getting everything stamped where you want it and then go and smudge it everywhere. That'll waft. There we go. Set. Okay, so that's that part.
Oh, beautiful, Megan.
So for the butterfly itself, I went ahead and stamped one again on the all-purpose card, the Dragon's All-Purpose. Stamped it up in black exactly the same, and I clear heat embossed this one as well because we're going to get a bit painty with this one. I think I might do some different colours on this butterfly to the first one, if that's okay with everybody.
That's fine. You're the boss.
blues and the greens last time. Let's do some red and yellow. Again, a little doll of paint. Come out. I need to get some proper storage for these paints really, because you're supposed to keep them upside down.
Oh.
Just nothing special paintbrush. Get some of the water, give it a squirt, get it watered down, give that a mix. Come in with the darkest first. I'm just gonna swipe out from the middle. You can see a little of the paint goes a long way. Okay. Wash. Mop this up quick. I think we'll use some kitchen towel this time. I will do a batch of these usually and use up all the paint that's on there. And I'll do exactly the same with some yellow. Give that a mix together. So with your acrylic paints you can turn them into almost a watercolour. Okay, let's move that around and we'll come in from the other edge. Get some colour down first before we merge them. And then come in and mix those two together. Just dragging one into the other. This is very relaxing. I might nod off.
You're not falling asleep, Phillipa, are you?
There we go. Okay, and for the middle part, I actually used alcohol. And I forgot to bring it over with me. Idiot. Just pop and get me the a dark brown marker. Alcohol. Diddly do. Just going to give this a waft. That'll do. Just a quick dry off. Lovely colours bleeding into each other. Love doing things like that. And as always, I would definitely recommend letting this to dry naturally. Thank you, Andreen. That's it. Lift a little bit up. as dry as possible because we're going to be cutting out. It's never a good idea to cut damp card because it goes all shreddy and funny. Oh, well, Samantha, as I say, I only really started using it a couple of years ago. Just play. Get used to it, do different things with it, get used to the feel of it. It can be, as you can see, it can be quite a quick way of colouring something in. And for backgrounds, it's fantastic. I will do some more with paints.
Jelly plate.
I did have a jelly plate. I wouldn't class myself as particularly proficient with a jelly plate. I'm by no means an expert. I think we'll do some techniques with some brushos as well because they are so much fun. I'm just going to colour the little body in with the brown. That's it. And then we're going to cut him out. Little scissors. Disappear to the bottom of my jar. I'm going to cut around this time very quickly. Oh, I think that's another cat wants to come in. Yep, here he comes.
Here's our boy.
And that's Denzel.
Here's my boy.
Neither of these cats actually belong to us. They belong to the neighbours.
Hello.
You know what cats are like. They choose where they want to be.
So you want to say hello to everyone, Denzel?
Don't have to be too neat because we've already got it stamped on the card. And what we miss will still be there.
Oh my God,
which is magic.
That butterfly thing.
Even his little eyes. Sorry, butterfly. And there's absolutely no way in the world I could cut those antennae out.
I'm stupid enough to. Okay. Go stumped already.
Trying to keep it in shot as much as possible.
You would. You want to say hello to everyone? You want to go on camera?
Here we go. One butterfly. Right, that scared him. Okay, so all I did then was to stamp the sentiment out from the sentiment medley. These are brilliant. And I haven't even stamped out the whole thing. I've just got just for you, whereas the stamp says just for you, my lovely. But I thought this is more generic. You don't have to use the whole stamp. You can use whichever bits of it you like. You can either make up your own sentiments and cut them into, cut separate words out and make your own up.
There you go. Then James has never used a jelly plate. You got to do a jelly plate technique.
It's addictive, jelly plates. Right, let's get the bits back over. Okay, so we've got the 15 by 15 card blank. away. A piece of the true black card. This is 12.4 by 12.4. When I started using a jelly plate, I used it with distress oxides, not paints, because the paints were just too scary for me. So if you want to find a way into using the jelly plate, start with the ink first. It's less daunting, if you like. So get that into the centre. Somewhere I've got a piece of black card, I think. There we go. Then we'll grab our piece of decorated card. Yes, yeah, Fabrizio, it will be. It will be saved onto the page, and it will be on YouTube at some point. Thank you for watching. It's nice to see you here. Let's glue this up. Make sure we've got the card opening the right way. Always have to double check. Get this placed down. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good day. Put that in place. And you can see, even though we've put quite a lot of different products onto that bit of card, it is standing up to it. It hasn't warped too much. What's that, Donna?
I wouldn't miss it for it.
There we go.
I'm going to get Lynn James into using jelly plate.
You probably use it more than I do.
Yeah, I do.
Let's pop this on here first. So again, I'm going to pop the sentiment onto a black mat. Oh, thank you.
Donna Smith, you are a darling.
It makes such a difference. Again, even border-ish all the way around. As I was saying with the sentiment, just using just for you part makes it more generic. So now this card could be male, female, any occasion. Just gets more out of your stamp. So getting that on more or less same amount of space around it in the corner there. Oh, thank you, Donna. So we've got that in the opposite corner to where we did the crosshatch highlights. And now all we need to do is pop the butterfly on. Now that's a good way of doing it. A long coffee break. So we could get Mr. or Mrs. Butterfly lined up. Hold that in place. We're good to go because we've already stamped him on there. Go over again with our piece of paper. sure that's all firm down. There we go. Stick. That's it. So card number 2. I think I prefer those colours and the other one in again. So, thank you everybody. Definitely like the red into the yellow. That really really pops off the card. Yeah, stick for some reason. Might have got some embossing powder under there. Okay, so last but not least, thank you very much everyone. Move on to card number 3, which is completely different, and this is a really really fun technique that I think I originally saw it on Pinterest and thought I have got to try that. It's actually known as squeegee art, but because I haven't got a squeegee, I use a flat acrylic block instead. Thank you. Well, it might look neat and tidy when I'm doing a live, but that's not necessarily the case any other time. Let's just put it that way. So again, it's a 6x6 or 15x15 card blank. Skip the bits, so not the whole over again. These paints I've gradually been building up. I haven't bought them all in one go, although now I see, because Hazel's got them, you can get them in packs, which makes life easier. Do a little bit of die cutting as well. Oh no, it's just it's trial and error. So I've got 5 different colours of paint for this one. You can use anything above 3, I would say. Card blank, got a matte ready there as well. Got another bit of super smooth to do our sentiment when we're ready. And I've got two pieces of card that I cut. So just a piece of A4 of the Dragon's All-Purpose, cut in half. And the A5 acrylic block, a nice flat one. These come in useful for so many things. This will make sense when we actually do it. So now for the fun. We're going to pop down different dots. You might have seen this already on some things. Some people are really clever and can create all sorts of actually pictures that make sense. Random dots I'm going to go for. So try not to think about it too much, just go for it. This is really fun. You don't get much waste either doing it this way. This is why I've got the spare piece of paper. Card rather. Going for some quite funky colours for this. And this technique will be great for a man's card. Just depends what you stamp over it, really. Our final colour, nice bit of pink.
Can you tell me what it is yet?
There we go. Right. So now we're going to get our block. Turn it slightly, or we'll need to move it part way. So, like you think it is. Actually, I will move this onto the mat. I think we shouldn't get it too dirty. A bit more room then. I'm going to come in from the top. So this is where the squeegee bit comes in, but I thought as I got this I'd use it. And we're just going to pull. Hold it. Bring it back down again. And lift. That's our first print. This is so much fun, honestly. And then with the other piece of card, bring it in. Give it a slight wobble if you want to. And pull it right down flat. And you can use all that paint up. You could put that onto another piece if you want and move some more card. But then you've got a really funky cool background. These are so much fun. They're brilliant. They really are.
I said that too.
I love doing these. Okay, so let's have a clean up before we move on. Move most of the paint with the kitchen towel.
Uh-oh, you started with Julie on something.
I think that could be a cool idea, Julie. That sounds like an excellent idea. It is so much fun. Of course you can, if you have got a squeegee, you could use that if you don't mind it getting covered in paint. But I thought, you know, it's just a flat, quite a large flat surface. Might as well use what I've already got, so hence the acrylic stamp board. It's fun, isn't it? It really is. Yes. If you do small areas, you could use your credit card. You could do all sorts of things. You can buy the different the icing tools that you can get as well, the cake ones. With the wobbly edges that you can use as well. That will be interesting to see. Okay, so I'm going to give this a bit of a dry off. And again, this will be completely different every time you do it. But honestly, as a quick background, and for maybe getting started with some paints, this is not only fun, but easy, unpredictable.
I quite like that way,
I think I might do something slightly different with this to the first one that I made. Just to show some different ideas. but you really need to give this a go. Yeah, I wonder what it would come out like on a jelly paint. Aww. Shouldn't need too much drying because we're literally scraping the paint across, so you don't get the whole amount of paint on there. Think about it, if you have it this way up, that's a great dribbly painty effect. But quite how people actually make pictures that make sense when they're doing it, I've no idea. I'm not very mathematically minded, so can give that a miss. Just stick to making the backgrounds.
That's probably how they start.
No. Very interesting, isn't it? A little blank bit of card. That will be fine. Now, the first card I did, I just left it as is. I think I might show it with some gesso on top, just to show what I mean when you add gesso to bits and pieces. This is a well-loved tube. I get these when Hobbycraft have an art sale. Bring back the brayer. Randomly go in. Don't know if you can see or not, but that does blend it all together. Too much. Just to bring it all together. Make it cohesive. That'll do. Give it another coat if you like. Up. The kitchen towel we go through is amazing. That's why I only use the cheap stuff. And this can have a proper wash later. Let's come my brayer. The brayers can build up the paint quite easily if you don't clean them off properly. It is nice for certain techniques. Got a bit down here, look. Always end up with paint all over me as well as everything else. There we go, bring that over. Give this a quick waft again. Again on the lowest setting. This actually would be great for die cutting as well. If you think of Julie's alphabet dies, would look fantastic cut out of this, or even flowers. Of course, the butterfly and dragonfly, these would look brilliant. Do a whole great big sheet and then die cut things out of them, it would look lovely. Try and get this as dry as possible because I'm going to be white and heat embossing over the top. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to cut this down 2 sides. The first one I did was 12 by 12. Let me just double check that just in case. I have to write everything down, otherwise oh no, it's 13, but we could do 12, that doesn't matter. Let's see how we get on with 13. And this bit we can use for something else as well. I won't be throwing those bits away. So again, that now looks completely different. We've isolated it. We can do our stamping. That way last time. Should we keep it going that way or have it that way? That way, we could have it that way. I went with the circle stamps because it can't seem to fit really. The sort of blobby bits of paint. Right, so I'm going to pop that in up off the page because, or off the stamp platform rather, because this will hang over each side. And line this right up along the edge, like so. Bring that down. Now, this is what I use for anti-static. My sock. It's a trainer liner filled with talcum powder and a rubber band. And it works fine.
When did I make that for you?
Years ago. And it's still going strong. It seems to do the trick, so I'm sticking with it. And I've got the Wow embossing pad. Give this a good squidge in. I re-inked it last night, so it should be full of lovely juiciness. I felt like Dobby when he gave me the sock. I was finally a free elf. Anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's a Harry Potter thing. Okay. You could go in and stamp before you pop the powder on, but I like to see where I'm going. So I've got another piece of copy paper. Get it apart.
It smells good as well, darling.
Oh dear. I don't know what side it is. That's fine. Of course, I'll find out. Okay, so I've got the bright white. It's that side. A little tap off. And the sock has worked brilliantly. These larger pots from Wow are a godsend. I've had this for ages now. I used to go through the little pots like nobody's business, especially white and clear. can do this. Try and come in from underneath. It'll take a little bit longer because we are going to have to use the lower heath setting because of the paint. There we go. You can, of course, stamp whatever you like on top of these. That's the whole point. It's all about the backgrounds. Like we were saying about die cutting, even if you were to stamp this, all the square designs out and then cut round them, that would look funky.
Big about it every time. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think that's what this is, isn't it? Yeah. I don't really tend to use talc.
No.
As much as when I was
grafting.
growing up, but now I have a use for it. Nearly there. Go over the top. So I haven't missed anything. There we go. Now we're going to stamp that again next to it. A little wipe over. Bring this in. You can have it overlapping slightly. Perfect with this design because it has got that bit of overlap in it anyway within it, so it's fine. I'll turn down that on that edge. Pick that up. Bring in the sock.
I know what to do.
Give this a good squish. Sure we pick all that ink up. No, it's difficult to see. Some more powder on. You might be able to do more embossing in one go, but I like to see where things are heading and do it separately, which is probably why it takes me ages. Always put the lid back on again because I know what I'm like. I'll come in again. Has anybody got any crafty projects on the go at the moment? I know Donna's been batch making. There's been some lovely things come up on the group.
I think we're just all mesmerised.
It's heat embossing, isn't it?
Julie's busy as always.
Julie's always busy.
Julie, you're a robot, aren't you? You're not a proper lady, are you?
I don't know how you do it, really. I just love it when these circles overlap. I'm a bit obsessed with circles anyway.
Very exciting.
It is very, very exciting.
It's very, very, very.
Almost uncontrollable excitement.
Oh, then James has made Hazel storage for stamps and dies.
Ah, cool. They're addictive as well.
How many have you got, Phillipa?
I have managed to do it for well, everything. So far.
Gail, it's very, very exciting, Gail.
Right. Do the rest from the top so I can see. There we go. Bring that around. So that's looking quite cool.
Oh, Donna's been busy as well. Batch making. Hazel's storage folder. What else?
Wow. Putting me to shame. No. I've been making lots and lots and lots and lots of different things.
Donna's not a real person, she's a robot.
Wait. Now, we are going to need... Oh, there's some stamps on. Oh, there is. The larger of those. And the next one down with the circles.
With Julie's being a troublemaker, she's teasing as well.
She's always been a tease, hasn't she? There we go. So just to make this work as a pattern, we had a little bit of a gap there, and there's one at the bottom. So I'm just going to go in with these circles and fill those in, and then, to my mind, that will work. A very real Donna, not an Autobot Donna. Go in. You could leave it, it's not necessary. Just my weird brain likes to connect things up. Okay. Get the powder on those. The excess off. Get this back in. Heat on it again. Because I'm over at Brian's desk, I use his heat tool. I'm not used to. Should bring my own over, really, shouldn't I? do ever get round to sorting this room out, I should be able to stay over my own side of the room. We always joke we're a bit like Victoria and Albert. Okay. Then I figured out that you can get 5 of the circles down the other side. So any word up to the 5 will fit in down here. Oh, thank you, Donna. It's so lovely to be part of such a talented, creative bunch. So I'm using the medium-sized one. We'll head for the middle-ish first. And about, bring that over. I'll stick with the 5, I think. Where's my sock? Just in case. It shouldn't be too bad because we've got the gesso on it, and that's because it's got the chalk in it, it's nice and dry. Each time. And coming down at the bottom, can come off slightly. That's the good thing about this embossing pad, because it stays open for longer. So bring it in. So. I can do 3 at once. Save ourselves a bit of time. Should have put a date down when I first opened this jar.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to know how long they last. You could also use it in one of the new polished gold or silver. That would look lovely. Get some darker colours in your painty background. That would look lovely. Get some dark blues and purples. The gold would look gorgeous on that. Let's hope there will be a polished platinum.
Of all the stamps is created, this has to be one of my favourites.
The circles, yeah. I think it's the circles and the butterfly. I have to stop myself from using them and adding them to things. Thank you, Elizabeth. I went with white embossing this time because it always feels quite modern. It's what I might call an arty colour when you add it to things, especially if you're into mixed media. Seems a bit daft, doesn't it, saying white's an arty colour, but it does seem to work. Okay, one last time. I'm coming down here now. Move this over. You can overlap slightly. Get those in position. Indeed, Julie.
Indeed, Julie.
She will.
She will.
Keep going with the embossing. Don't worry about it too much. It can take a little while to get into it.
Practice, 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 Yvonne.
I would say nice and smooth card. The Wow ink, definitely. And maybe start with the ultrafine powders. Because they pick up the detail so beautifully. And they melt. They melt nicely as well, if that makes sense. When you've got chunkier embossing powders, that's when sometimes it can look a bit, what's the word? Uneven, a bit knobbly. Yes, definitely. Just have a time where you're heat embossing. It doesn't actually have to be for a project. Right. Let's get this a little wipe over. You always get stray bits of powder. We don't want those ending up on anything else. Give these two a last dry. Hooray. Are they in the shed, Julie? In your not shed, cabin? That's an injustice. I would love a craft cabin. I've got one.
I've got a craft room.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Oh, the stock cabin.
You need one of them big containers, my Julie.
There we go. So that's that a bit done. Next thing we are going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of the white gesso. That in again, just in case. Come out.
Oh.
I only want a tiny bit.
Across the base, it's a 12 by 24.
Oh no, I don't know how you do it.
Oh. know how you do it.
I'm going to fill in the circles just roughly. Just getting another layer of the gesso on. Just going to add some of the paint onto the top. Nothing too neat about it, just go into it. I think when I did that live before with the picture I made, I used my finger to do this, which you can do. It's ideal for small spaces like this. I thought I'd be posh today and use a brush. Doesn't she just? It amazes me. Especially doing lives and things. I have to take over a whole room.
Yeah, my desk.
The only reason I can't.
Lucky are you lot?
The only reason I can't use my desk is it's a corner desk. It's right up against the wall, and I can't get the mobile holder onto it. It can't bend up against the wall. Okay, a quick waft. If you wanted to, you could paint some of the circles in on the other side as well. And keep that heat tool moving so it's not concentrated on one spot. I don't want to go burning anything after all we've done. Put on the back. That's fine. Now I'm going to pop a different colour into each circle. You of course can do whatever takes your fancy. Go straight in this time. Get another brush. And again, don't be too perfect about it. It's got that lovely splodgy background. So we're keeping in with the whole feel of it. Rinse off. Take some of the wet off on the cloth. Another colour. Some of these are more opaque than others. I love this orange. It's a beautiful colour.
Cheddar. No, it's not cheddar.
Hot curry, this one. At the beginning of the year, I started watching the Bob Ross programs. I think that got me into looking at some painty techniques. I would love to be able to properly paint.
Oh, what like it?
Yes, she is, isn't she? Must watch that.
Oh, what on
And the little colour green. Oh. That's a huge compliment when something makes you want to craft over and over again.
Oh, that's what I want. Is
Oh, and an Alexa. I think I'd be chucking Alexa out the window. Okay, right, we'll leave that to dry off a little bit and we'll stamp our letters out. So, I'm going to bring in this dinky dinky die cutting machine, which is actually Mum's, but it's it's ended up in my craft room.
Your phone, she loves them. Your phone, I think they are, aren't they?
I'm going to die cut first. There's circle dies. Run that through quick. This is great for small dies. Means you haven't got to put something itsy bitsy through a big A4 electric machine.
Do they do little dies like this anymore?
I think so. There are many versions of these.
Sussex was a sidekick, weren't they?
Make sure that's cut. Only problem with the little ones is they don't have the power sometimes like the big ones do, but yeah, it's fine. That's good. Wow.
You're fun. No, that sent Pippa crazy.
Alexa, Alexa, Alexa. Okay, last bit of stamping. Take that out. Something very satisfying about taking a die out. It's a card out of a die. Like Julie does, I'm going to pop that in first, actually, because it's easier to see. Use this to line everything up.
Oh, you clever girl.
Now, shall we go with the same name? Or shall we go with a different 5 name? Or shall we do something completely different?
Andrene's Alexa was
Gail with
responding
it.
to you, Pippa.
Sorry. Oh dear. We could go with happy. I won't say it again. So you can line up in there. It doesn't have to be straight because they're circular, so you just turn them round to where you want them.
So we'll see what happens.
Which is fab.
So we'll see what happens to Andrene's Alexa if I shout, Alexa!
See now what you've done. Wait. There it is. I love these. I don't have to keep them in order, do I? Because they're all separate. Just because. Move those out of the way. We can check if they're lined up or not. Reverse Fine Claire. Check first. See if they're okay. Come over slightly, it just depends. Ooh, how neat you are. Just move the A, move it back up again, move it downwards very slightly.
Alexa, play some music.
Good grief. Boys. Slightly. And it will all be good. Up. Okay, that should be fine. And then I can do another P in a minute. Oh dear.
She's playing music now.
I'm going to have to put him in the naughty corner.
You can tell him
Look what you've done.
Mine's playing music.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we can do another P so I can go back in exactly the same place. We haven't got to line that one back up again. Let's take the others up. Yes, definitely. It's a shame I can't lock the door on this room.
Alexa, can I have Google, please?
There we go. They're
I'll
all
be in myself now.
stamped out nice and neatly. Get that little white off. Okie dokie. So now we can put the card together.
I'll be in myself now.
I'm not done with my bits. So that's the 15 by 15 card blank.
Just started playing.
Some glue on the black, and the black is, I think it's 13.4. Just double check that before I stick it.
Me too, don't know, I'm in tears.
Put this down in the middle-ish. There we go. Let's just see if this is dry. Yeah, that's fine. It's amazing. Acrylic paint takes hardly any time to dry off.
Beautiful idea. Could you do that in black? Would it look the same?
What, black circles and
Yeah.
white embossing? Yeah. Whatever you like. Again, double checking just in case.
That's very abstract, isn't it?
Yeah. Hold that down. Think about how many different layers we've got on there. Get that a good press down, especially around those edges. Okay, we're just gonna pop our letters in. This would be quite a good card just to keep for any occasion. Anybody you've forgotten maybe and you need a card at last minute. It's all ready to go. Could colour the middles of these circles in if you want to do as well, and some light colours. Thank you. Oh, I stuck the A in the wrong place.
No, I quite like it in the white because the circles are
Idiot.
white. See, I put yours now on its spell. You didn't have to spell accident, did you?
I didn't know. Completely lost the plot.
So now to spell that bit, that's Alexa.
No, I don't think so. One in there. I could colour the middles of these in the same colours but in a different place, if that makes sense. So that could be pink. You want it a bit more colourful. I left them white because then it coordinated with the white of the card and the white embossing. And last one. There we go. The lid on the glue. Put them out the way. So that's card number 3. So I hope that's helped a bit with using acrylic paint. It doesn't have to be precise and regular and too daunting. We're literally just splodging, if you like, paint onto different things. Put these back in as well. Have a look. Just have a play, see how you get on, see what you come up with. And then we have that one as well, just as an example. Thank you. So yeah, please give them a go, even if you don't necessarily actually make anything with them. Just give the techniques a little go. Yeah, just to get the feel of it. Use whatever colours you do have, or if you haven't got any, you just want to try a couple, that's fine. Just go with what you've got or can get. I would really recommend the Studio Light Art by Marlene paints. They're really beautiful to use, and yes, you can get them from Hazel. So yeah, and you know me, I love my colour, so this is ideal use of colour for me, and it is an easy, simple, quick way of getting a background down quite quickly. So thank you all for your company. I look forward to seeing what you create. Please tag me in anything you make, so just, in case I miss anything, which I don't want to. I really love seeing how you've been inspired. That makes me so happy. And I will see you in a fortnight.
You might see me unless Alexa does something to me.
Unless I've locked him out. So thank you all so much for this morning. It's been great. Lovely chatting with everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a lovely crafty time, and see you all in a fortnight. Bye.